to predict the number of times that I'm going to drink from this very nice cup.
You can find someone doing things for airplanes, for example, but then also people that do bio in space.
To solve them numerically and store the data, I would need maybe on the order of 40 terabytes.
Like maybe we soon go to Mars.
But I thought that was my dream job, was not.
It was like such a coincidence that I always go to that place in Christmas.
It also plays a role, of course, in the design of aircraft.
Toca. Hello friends, and welcome to another episode of this podcast. Today we are with Álvaro Martínez. Welcome, Álvaro.
Hello, Isabella. How are you?
Good, and you?
Good.
Nice. Thank you for coming to the podcast.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Of
I'm
course.
really happy.
Me too, because it's also the number 10 episode. So we're in our initial setup with our caps and everything ready to record. So Álvaro is from Galicia, Spain, but studied his undergrad in Valencia, in the Polytechnic University of Valencia, in aerospace engineering. So let's start first with that part, and especially with the research, because in Spain we have to do a research project at the end of our undergrad. So maybe you can both explain how was undergrad and then your research.
I can start saying that I'm not from Galicia, I'm from the best region of Spain. I need to clarify now that I'm here.
Sorry
in this
about
podcast. Yeah, so basically in Spain we do the last year of our undergrad, we need to do a research project. And in my case, it was a pity that it was during COVID time. So basically I was supposed to do it at KTH in Stockholm in Sweden, but I couldn't do it physically there because it got cancelled because of that. So I kept in contact with the professor that I was supposed to work with. And I did the same, but in Valencia, in my home university, with another professor. And we had like a collaboration between both of them. And yeah, basically the project was about studying, applying techniques of aerospace engineering to the study of urban flows. So to understand the flow within cities, basically.
Okay, so you did aerospace engineering for undergrad and for your master's.
Yeah.
So I guess because you couldn't do that experience abroad, you wanted to go to Toulouse in this case?
Yeah, actually, I went to Toulouse with the idea because that city is somehow like the hub of all the aerospace companies in Europe. So I was very excited to go there, and my dream job at that point was to work for Airbus. I was very interested in the design of aircraft, how the flow interacts with aircraft, and how to design aircraft according to that. So that was my main decision and why I wanted to go to Toulouse.
And how was the master?
It was good. It was a very good experience because it was my first time both living alone without my parents and abroad. And I think that it was a very rewarding experience. I went there as well, like with a lot of people from my home university, from UPV. So I think that helped a bit as well. It helped to be like in like this first experience in which you are with international people, but as well like with people that is very close to you. And it was very, very nice.
Yes, I can imagine. And you said your dream job was to work in Airbus, and you actually were there for some time?
Yeah. So I had the opportunity during my master's to do both, like the experience that I couldn't do for my bachelor thesis. So I had the opportunity to go to Stockholm during the first summer. And by the end of my master's degree, I could work for like 6 months in Airbus.
And how was that?
It was an experience that it was good at some point, but on the other side, that's the reason why I'm here right now, because I discovered that what I thought that was my dream job was not. So yeah, I'm happy that I had the opportunity to go there.
And just for a bit more context, what was your job about in Airbus?
Yeah, so basically it relates with a lot of topics that we have like in aerospace engineering, but in particular with aerodynamics. And we have one problem there that is like it's super difficult to make one simulation of the flow in one particular condition. So I was using AI tools to try to speed up those simulations, or at least to have a model to generate like those simulations for a lot of conditions very quickly, with not 100% of accuracy, but still something that we can work with the structures team, with controls team. And I was in the aerodynamics department, so we were having like those models from the aerodynamics point of view to work with those other teams.
And why do you say it was not what you were thinking of?
Because basically you are using things that others developed in the past. And I think that Airbus is not a company in which you design aircraft like in all the aspects, or like the most optimized aircraft. At least in my experience, I felt that it was a company in which the main challenge was to manufacture the aircraft in a very quick time, so that your clients are happy, basically.
Okay.
But in terms of design, it's a very big company, so it's very difficult to iterate. It's very difficult to, once you have like one design, it's very difficult to talk with the structures team, but not in Toulouse, in Germany, in UK, in Spain. So it's very difficult to iterate, to to make the best design possible. And I thought that for at least this part of my life, I want to have something that was like at least more intellectually challenging. And that's why.
Yeah, so you were more interested in doing research and being like the creator of those methods than than those industries use.
Yeah, exactly. So at some point, maybe like Airbus would be my dream company when I'm 40. But at least for this time of my life, I wanted to have like something more
challenging and more where your creativity can also
exactly,
part of
exactly. That was something also important. I think that in Airbus you're just an engineer, basically, which is also like something very good and that I value. But
okay, so now you're here at MIT in your third year of PhD in AeroAstro. And that's how we know each other. We met during your first year of PhD. That was also my first year here being a visiting student. I don't know, tell us about the department, because I haven't talked with anyone from that department. So maybe yes, what's the department about? And then we can follow up with more questions.
Now that you say it, I think, I should be very passionate about aerospace, because aerospace for my bachelor, for my master, for that. I think that the Department of Aerospace Engineering is a bit different from the one of ECS, or at least from other departments. But I think that like what you need to do is the same. I think that in my department, I need to take compulsorily like the master's degree. So even if I had a master's degree before, I need to take all the courses that are required for that. And then and typically you spend like the first 2 years doing that. Then you do your master thesis, and then after that you need to do somehow like a proposal for your thesis. You need to have an advisor that is committed. And after that, you spend basically like 3 or 4 years, depending on the person and depending on what you did on your master thesis. But usually people don't work on their master thesis on the same topic that they work for their PhD. But in my case, I did. So hopefully I'll be at MIT like less amount of time than other people that work on different topics.
And a cool thing about your department is that you guys do completely different things. Like you can find someone doing things for airplanes, for example, but then also people that do bio in space.
Yeah, that's a very good point, because actually I feel that in this department you can do whatever you want. You can do for even like analyzing data. That's what I'm doing, for instance. But you can do like robots control. You can also design how you communicate with satellites. And I have a lot of friends working on those topics. So it's very interesting, and I think that it's very multidisciplinary. There are a lot of professors from different parts. And something that is kind of interesting of MIT, or like what people used to like about that department, is that it's very focused on space. There are other departments, like for instance, my home university, and also like the one in Toulouse, that are more focused as well, or they have a lot of focus on the part of aircraft. more on the part of like aerospace, but on the Earth, on our planet. But here at MIT, they are really looking forward to maybe like to the space and those missions related to that.
Like maybe we soon go to Mars.
Yeah, well, now we had the news, no, that they are not going, like, at least SpaceX, that Elon Musk said that he was going to cancel that medium-term goal or long-term goal that he had. But yeah, at some point we'll be there. Yeah, we will be there.
Yeah, nice. And one quick thing about your PhD is that the first 2 years you were with La Caixa Foundation Fellowship. Maybe you can explain how was the process of applying, but from the point of view of someone that is listening that want to apply, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, I think that La Caixa, and that's actually the reason why I think we met, because we or we were both applying, or so basically, I think that it's a very good fellowship that will cover everything in your first 2 years. And I will, like, if I need to say something about like why you should have, why you should be considering, or like what would be the chances that you get it, or how you can maximize them. I would say that you need to be passionate about whatever you want to work on your PhD or like on your grad studies. And I think that if you somehow organize your trajectory, or if you somehow know that you want to do some postgraduate studies abroad in advance, then you'll have like a year or a couple of years that you can tailor your application for that. And in my case, what was very helpful is that during my first year of my master's, I was considering doing a PhD. So I somehow reached out to professors to make them know that I was interested in pursuing that path in research, and then they helped me as well, like to maybe to be involved in projects that were more aligned with the research part. And I think that telling your peers, your professors, everyone around you that you're interested in that would be also very helpful, because they will help you to look for other opportunities, but also like to work on particular projects that are tailored for that. And also, I think that the most important part in my case was the recommendation letters. So yeah, I think that if you have good recommendation letters and good like relationship with someone that can write like good recommendation letters, that's like the most important part, in my opinion.
Yeah, that they know you and know how you work,
Yeah,
know
exactly.
who you are.
And try to expose you as well. Don't be afraid like to talk in a more personal way with your professors, because they are also like as us, or like they were in the same situation. So
okay, yeah, very good, very good. So let's get into interesting things, which is what's your research about. But first, Alvaro is studying very complex problems, causality and turbulence, which are like the for me very very difficult. So we'll start with causality first.
To me, it's more complex whatever you study, but yeah.
And make it so that we all can understand.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't, maybe to understand causality, imagine that I want to predict the number of times that I'm going to drink from this very nice cup, from the times that you are drinking, or like imagine that I want to see whether there's a cause and effect relationship, whether there's like you are having an effect on me, because whenever you drink, I'm drinking as well.
Okay.
Causality, what it wants to address is they try to, from data, I just have some observations, or from experiments, I could make an experiment. I want to see whether you are having a cause on me, for instance, in this case. The problem is that there are a lot of situations in which, imagine that I want to fix the number of times that you are drinking. Now I set it to 0, and then I don't drink. And then I do that like with repeated times, and maybe I can set it like I can set you like drinking only once, twice, or whatever, and then I see whatever happens with me.
Okay.
And the idea is that with that type of data, once you have like those observations of like what people is doing, or like in this case what variables or how your system is behaving, to try to understand whether there's a connection between these two variables. And this is challenging and very challenging, because like imagine that if I only have like observations for these two cases, but imagine that we have a cameraman that is actually drinking, and is the one that is driving like both the number of times that we are drinking. So in that case, we have another variable that we are not observing and that we don't have access to. That is the actual reason why we are drinking less or more. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I don't know if that was clear enough. I was. I think that this is an example that I really like to use whenever I'm with someone, like at whatever place. But
yes, and so you do more the theoretical framework.
Yeah.
And can you also apply it to
Yes.
other
So the idea is that, of course, like I'm in the AeroAstro department, so I'm interested in turbulence, as you said.
Yeah.
But we want to make a method with the properties that will be helpful for turbulence, but that can be applied to anything that we want. That can be applied to like to your data, for instance, that you use in your research. And actually, that was very interesting, because from the paper that we published, of like a preliminary version of the method that we're developing, I was contacted by people from agriculture, from public health. So it seems that there's some interest of people wanting to apply it, and that was very interesting to me to see like how my research that I'm using like for aerospace or for turbulence can be applied to any other particular thing.
And I guess it's also very rewarding to see that you're having an impact in other fields and fields. So yeah, congrats about that.
Whenever there's anyone like reaching out, I'm super like excited about it, and I want people to use it. Yes, so otherwise, like I would feel that my research is useless.
Yes. I guess one of the reasons to do PhD is to advance scientific knowledge. And if you only keep it for you or for your lab or for your field, it gets very reduced. So it's very good that you also are proactive and want to help others.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so now we change to the next topic, which is turbulence.
That's actually, I think that whenever you say turbulence, you think about whatever you feel in the aircraft, but it's kind of a state of the air, of the flow of any fluid, like air, water, whatever, that is everywhere. I mean, if I do like this right now, I'm generating that type of flow. But like beyond that application that I just said, it plays a role in the flow of blood through our vessels, for instance, through our veins. It plays a role like in the sun, for instance, for exchange of heat. It also plays a role, of course, in the design of aircraft, because it's not only for the state in which the aircraft moves, or like you have these sudden movements. It's also responsible for how much fuel you need, because like in the thin layer of air that is generated between the aircraft's surface, like imagine that this would be the surface, then you have some flow of air going through it, and from this point to the flow of like to the velocity of the air, or the velocity at which the aircraft is flying, you have a very thin layer in which the air needs to go from zero velocity to that velocity. So that means that in that thin layer, you have like a lot of gradients, a lot of stresses that are responsible for how much fuel you need, because those are generating some friction on your surface. And basically, the problem with that is that it's very, very difficult to simulate like all the scales that are generated in this thin part of the air.
And why is it difficult?
And that's a very good question, because we know the equations. They are the so-called Navier-Stokes equations. I'm sure that you've heard of them, and like you can solve them numerically, but you cannot ensure that for any initial condition that I input, I'm going to have a smooth solution if I advance that initial condition in the future. So that means that the only solution that we have is to solve them numerically. And just like to give you an example, if I want to make like for one particular velocity, for one particular aircraft, for one particular geometry, let's say, if I want to solve them numerically and store the data, I would need maybe on the order of 40 terabytes.
Wow.
To solve for all the scales, like to have, let's say, like 100% accuracy, or close to that. So that means that if you want to simulate like 100 aircraft or like 100 initial conditions or velocities, you don't have like a supercomputer that can store all that data. So basically, that's the main problem of turbulence, or whenever we say turbulence, that's the main issue, that it is a system in which everything is coupled and is very nonlinear, and the equation that governs that type of flow or like that type of interaction is very difficult to solve. So in my lab, we work on basically developing these causal models, this understanding how variables interact, to, let's say, not solve for all the scales. So instead of 40 terabytes, we can reduce it to 10 gigas or something like that. And the idea is to only solve for those variables that are the causal ones to a quantity of interest.
Wow. Okay. So yes, I guess both terms are very related. I didn't know they were that related. But
yeah. Actually, the way I'm working with causality is from the point of view of data. Depending on the data that I have, that it can be like these fields of turbulence, or it can be like anything else, like the stock market. I can be interested in predicting like what is going to happen. I can use them as well. So I'm more working from the point of view of how you understand data. But of course, the application always, whenever we apply the method, is in this complex problem, because it's non-linear. We have like a lot of properties that if it works for turbulence, it will work for everything, basically.
Okay. So it's like the most difficult application of your method, and then once you solve that, you can apply it to anything.
And and the good thing about framing it in terms of data instead of like the equations of the Navier-Stokes, for instance, is that once you have it developed, you can apply it for like the stock market, as I said, for example. Even if I'm not super interested in that part, there might be people that, because they don't have equations in that stock market, they can apply it, and they can maybe like create their models that can be useful for them.
Okay. Nice. And then another part of PhD is publishing papers, that you talked about one of them, but it's also going to conferences. And
that's true.
I think it's very fun because you get to know people in your field that are from other universities, other countries, but you can also travel if it's in another country. Maybe you want to share one of your favorite ones that you have gone to.
Yeah, I think you point out at a very nice part of my PhD, or of our PhD as well. I think that the best trip that I've ever had came from a conference, and it was to Chile. It was last year, and I had the chance to go there and to present my work. And then I've never been to that part of America, and I was very interested in what is. I think that we share a lot of things, and like from a Spanish background, we have a lot of things in common with them. And every time that I talk with someone from Argentina, from Peru, from Chile, from wherever, I feel like an instant connection in terms of like how we share values, how we talk. And in particular, after the conference, I went to the Atacama Desert, and it was impressive. It was, I think that it was like my best trip. It was like the colors, the things that you can do there, how people were there. The desert was really nice, but because it was not desert, there were a lot of lakes in there. There was a lot of fauna. It was impressive, and people was very nice as well. And I think that it was my first time traveling abroad to a Spanish-speaking country, because I've always been like to other places, but all those countries have been English, or I needed to speak in English, and it was like I was feeling at home at some point, like, or very, very similar to that.
Yes. Okay. And what was the name of the conference again?
It was one in particular that so it was kind of like organization that it was actually from Europe.
Okay.
But they choose like the different regions in the world, and every year they do one, and it was called CFC. So basically, it was like a conference for computational fluids.
Okay.
In English, I think that would be like the translation.
Okay, very good. Yes. All right. Now I think we can go to the more personal questions.
Okay.
And yeah, we can stay within the MIT environment, but more like what's MIT for you in a personal side.
Yeah, that's something that is a good question, because I've thought about it in terms of like why I'm happy at MIT, because like since I came here, there are like bad things because you're stressed or like you have a lot of things to do. But there's a lot of times in which you feel like super happy, like super fortunate to be here, and even if it's on the other side of
The
the
world.
globe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that we share like some opinions about that. I think that the like personally, the thing that I like a lot about MIT is the people that I have the chance to meet here. Everyone has something that they are like super passionate for, like maybe from the point of view of academics, but from the point of view of like they're super interested in like a personal project that they are developing, like as you, for instance, with this that we are doing right now. So I think that that makes you like connect with that person, because everyone has like something that they are like really pushing forward, but like not in a way that is kind of like a competition. I think that everyone is supporting each other, not only like in a point of view of academics. I see people that is like really hardworking and obsessed with work, but also there's other people that like they have like very separate work life balance, and they really like you to they really like to meet you and know about your work, even if it's like for other people might be boring. For them, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's a very good environment to be,
Yeah.
I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you want to do after your PhD?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Since I had the experience, I think that the Airbus experience was very nice for me to see how industry looks like. And in case I want to work for industry at some point in the future, what I should expect whenever I work for those companies or in those environments. I know for sure that what I like is to do research and to be in academia.
Okay.
So I think that if I were to choose like something that I would be very happy with, or like a career path that I would be very interested in, is staying in academia and becoming a professor. But I know that it's super challenging, and like there are a lot of factors that can play a role in it. So I wouldn't mind staying like maybe here in the US like for 2 years after my PhD, working for a company, or like for a maybe like a smaller company in which you can touch like different parts of the company.
To see if you like it or not.
Yeah, because maybe the culture here is very different. So maybe I like to check whether I really like that part or not.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll see in not so many years.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
Okay. And then one of your, like, I think we've talked about this in other episodes. People share a lot of common hobbies here in Boston. So one of your main hobby is to go running.
Yeah, I'd like to make a study of how many people come to Boston to do a PhD or whatever, and they start running. I think that
We're
everyone,
too.
yeah. So we would be part of that study, and it would be. And actually, I need to say that in the past, I hated running. I lived in Valencia, and Valencia is kind of like the city of running in Spain. It's like super known, and even here, like people know Valencia here in
Because of
Boston
that.
because of running.
Yeah.
They have like very fast tracks for the half marathon and the marathon.
Actually, Álvaro is running the marathon, Valencia Marathon.
Yeah, I signed up for Valencia Marathon next year, and I'm very excited for that because one of my best friends is also running it.
Okay.
And our idea is to try to qualify there, which I know that is going to be so difficult. So I'm going to enjoy it.
Yes.
If it happens, okay. If it doesn't happen, it'll be like super fine as well. I think that running a marathon is already like
No, it's already
yeah, a super
prize.
yeah,
Yes.
big milestone, and we'll try to classify for Boston. So we'll see. Very
Okay.
very
We'll
excited.
be cheering in
Yeah, yeah.
the race.
I will send you the link, or you should come or to
Yes,
cheer.
it's a good excuse to go to Spain.
Because I need to say that in the last half marathon that I ran, seeing you there supporting, and that's like I come again like to the part of MIT people. It was very rewarding. It was very like it gave me the energy that I needed. Like in the last 2-3 kilometers, I was like hoping to see you to like have
Yeah.
that energy, extra
And it
energy.
was 8 a.m. on a
It was
Sunday.
on a Saturday
On
and
a
after
Saturday
Halloween,
after Halloween.
so that was impressive. Yeah, so I
No, of
really yeah.
course, yes, of course, of course. And this leads me to the last question that someone told me I didn't ask in the previous episode because I forgot. But because this podcast is about talking with friends, the classic question is, what is friendship for you?
I think that you had that question in the past or not.
Yes, but not
Okay.
in the last
In the
episode.
last. That's true. That's true. I think that friends or like friendship to me is caring about each other. Whenever you have a problem, to be there for your friends. To have like this genuine caring that you have about your friends, like whether it's like you are going through a bad moment or a good moment in your life, but it can be like from your personal life, from like your academics, from whatever. And I think that it's very important. I really like to share good moments with my friends
Yes.
because those are the moments that come to mind. But also the bad moments. I think that a real friend or a good friend is going to be there to cheer you up
Yeah.
whenever you are maybe like not in the best situation or the best moment.
Yeah, in both good and bad
Yeah.
moments. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That was beautiful.
And saying things about friends, I think that you're the first person that I met at MIT or like in Boston that I also saw in Galicia, in my home country. So
That's true.
you're
Yes. In a very, very small
town.
town in
Yeah, yeah,
Galicia.
yeah. But
Yes.
it's very known for a particular thing of like Christmas. So
Yeah.
yeah, El
Yes.
Belén.
Yes. The
Yeah.
Belém, yes. It was like such a coincidence that I always go to that place in Christmas and you're from that same
And I
place.
loved your grandmother. Yeah, she was so nice. Yeah,
Yeah, she was
yeah,
very excited. But yeah, and it's called Valga, in case you wanna go.
yeah.
But now you're gonna get a lot of people there, so be
Yeah,
careful.
hopefully, yeah, no, no, of course, you're invited. If you want to come to Valga, I will make a tour, and I will show you the best things of Valga, and also the best food because I think that Galicia
It
is
has very
amazing.
good food.
Yeah,
I have to
you
say
can
that.
tell.
Yes, yes, yes. Nice. Okay, so then just to finish, we'll do the secret section with short answer questions.
Okay.
Um, okay, so to start, who is someone you look up to?
I think that my family, like everyone in my family, I think that I try to pick some things from everyone in my family, and I think I am who I am because of them.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Then, what's your favorite place in Boston?
Wow, that's a good question. I'd say that the part like I really like whenever I go for a run, the Jamaica Pond, that part in fall, it's amazing. So I would say that path like to the Jamaica Pond, like with the trees, like in that with those intense colors, and hopefully in the spring it will be
Also,
very nice also.
okay. If you could meet any person, you can do past, present, both. You can say two. Who would you choose?
I think my grandmother, because I'm the youngest of my family,
Mhm.
and she's always like whenever I think about someone, she's the person that I think about because I couldn't enjoy that much of her. But she had an issue whenever I was very young, and I think that we had like a very good relationship. I remember like things that I did to her, and yeah, the fact that I was the youngest, I think that I couldn't enjoy a lot about my grandparents, also because I was living abroad and far from them. So
Yeah. No, but it's
yeah,
beautiful that you have those moments
yeah,
with
yeah.
you. Okay, so with that, that's the end of the episode. Thank you very much for sharing your professional education and also personal experiences with us today.
It was a pleasure to be here, Isabella.
Yes, and thank you very much for listening to the episode, and stay tuned for more episodes coming soon. Bye bye.